We begin inside the pamphlet with Hine Matov and Sanctuary.
Hine Matov u'manayim sheberachim gam yachad. 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 sheberachim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim sheberachim gam yachad. O Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and in thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Ve'asuli mikdash ve'shachanti betocham. Ve'asuli mikdash ve'shachanti betocham. O Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and in thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
How good it is to be together on this special Shabbat in this sanctuary. Tonight is senior send-off, when we congratulate our students who are graduating high school and wish them well as they leave this sanctuary of this part of their lives and move on to the next stage of their journey. It is a joyous and poignant moment as we catch our breath and reflect on where our children have been and imagine where they might be going. And actually, that's kind of true of what every Shabbat is. Every Shabbat is a kind of a send-off, because since on Shabbat we are supposed to rest from our daily routines, we have the opportunity each week to catch our breath and reflect on where we have been during the week that has passed, and to imagine where we might go in the days of the weeks ahead. So tonight we share together not just in congratulating and sending off our seniors, but in sending each of us to this Shabbat, into this new week. And so as we let go of the week of work and worry that is now behind us, we begin to welcome Shabbat with the lighting of the candles. Esther, if you would lead us, please. The blessing is on page 301 of the Siddur.
candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who has kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher hishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu b'ma'asav v'nechshel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Esther. On page 13, we welcome the Shabbat angels of peace and joy. Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharei, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharei, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharei, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Loachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Loachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai Loachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai Tzidchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
At these transitional moments, whether moving into Shabbat or moving out of high school, we reflect on our goals and our hopes for the way we will live our lives in the days to come. And so Psalm 97 comes to remind us, if we turn to page 17, the second to last line of the Hebrew, the second to last stanza of the English, light is stored for the righteous, joy for the honorable. We should remember righteousness and honor. Or Zarua la Tzadik.
Or Zarua la Tzadik, Uyishrei lev simcha. Or Zarua la Tzadik, Uyishrei lev simcha.
And now we are ready to welcome in Shabbat on page 21. Lecha Dodi, come my beloved, to greet the bride.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmiyanu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shemu tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habaracha, meherosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitorari, hitorari, kiva ore kumi ori, uri uri shir daberi, kivod Adonai alayik nigla. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. V'hoi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, boi chala. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
We stay standing as we turn to page 27, Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkada v'yitkada shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei, ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, u'v'chayedecho beit Yisrael, bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, v'yimeru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach, le'alam u'lam me'amaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma, v'yimeru, amen.
In the handouts, we continue with Am I Awake, continuing into Baruch Hu on page 28.
Yadidai, dai, dai, 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 yadidai, dai, dai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yadidai, dai, dai, 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 yadidai, dai, dai.
You can be seated. And we continue on page 29, in the middle of the left-hand side. Let's read together. The Torah is a tapestry that can adorn the days in which we dwell. Let us embrace it and make it our own. Weave its text into the texture of our lives. Its teachings sustain us. Its beauty delights us. When we open our eyes to its splendor, it is not a mystery far beyond reach. It is not in heaven beyond our grasp. It is as close to us as we allow it, on our lips, in our heart, integral to our deeds. Let us study its words, fulfill its commands, and make its instruction our second nature. It is the tangible gift of God's love. Weave its text into the texture of your lives. On the right-hand side of page 29, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shofeinu u'b'kumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki hein chayenu le'orech yameinu, uvahem neged yomam v'layla. Ve'avatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch ata Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Page 31 and the 6th line from the top.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On page 34, a reminder how important it is to take this day of rest, of renewal and refreshment, to take Shabbat. The people Israel shall keep Shabbat, v'shamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
As we turn to page 35b, we come to the Amidah, the central section of the service. It gives us the opportunity to offer our own personal, private prayers on this night. We'll begin together on page 35b and then continue individually from there. If you do wish to follow the liturgy of the Siddur, it goes from page 36 to 38, or you can look inside yourself for your own words. When you've had as much time as you'd like for your private prayers, you may be seated, but we begin by rising together on page 35b.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot, U'mevi Goel Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Ufoked U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Ufoked Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Metim Atah Rab Lehoshia, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekahaye Be'emunato, Vishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Ata L'Hachayot Meitim. Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaMeitim. Atah Kadosh v'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kadoshim b'chol yom Yahalelucha Selah. Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Oseh shalom bimromah, Uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
We turn our thoughts now to our loved ones and friends who are ill, those who are in need of healing, whether physically or spiritually or emotionally. Tonight in our congregational family, we think particularly of Phyllis Burke, Arthur Campbell, Phyllis Dillon, Jane Dunlap, Harriet Flashenberg, Valerie Frank, Jonathan Gardner, David Glazer, Robert Gordon, Mike Kamens, Nancy Lewis, Cheryl Leahy, Nancy Mayer, Jonathan Panasuk, Mark Panasuk, Walter Petrush, Gail Rosenberg, Joseph Roth, Michael Schreiber, Tal Schechter, Cindy Sherman, Elaine Swartz, Yonina bat David HaKohen v'Sarah, Esther bat Chaim Vagoldi, Fegi bat Shlomo Nisan Halevi. If there's someone for whom you are particularly concerned tonight, someone who is in your prayers, we invite you to say that person's name aloud now. Hold in our hearts all of our friends and loved ones who are ill as we join together in Mishaberach, our prayer for healing on the inside back cover of the Siddur.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We continue on page 51 as we rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'tet gedula le'yotzer bereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת. אין עוד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Can be seated. As we prepare for Kaddish, we recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. Tonight our hearts especially go out to Hannah Thomas and her family. Hannah's father, Ralph Goldberg, was laid to rest this past week. We also especially remember Marcia Zeidman, mother of Nancy Peel, for whom we are still in Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning. And our congregational family remembers with special affection our loved ones whose Yahrzeit will occur this coming week. Bella Wolk, grandmother of Jeffrey Blackman. Eleanor Schneider, stepmother of Joy Parad. Noah Nathan Sirkin, grandfather of Tracy Paveo. William Hirshorn, father-in-law of Anita Hirshorn and grandfather of Rhonda Jelinek. Maxine Schindler, mother of Erica Marzella. Louis Schindler, father of Nancy Mathelis. Marcia Payne, mother of Saul Payne. Jean Mathelis, mother-in-law of Nancy Mathelis. Mary Jacobs, mother of Howard Jacobs. Michael Jacobs, son of Howard and Esther Jacobs. If you are remembering someone this evening, we invite you to say that person's name aloud now. Zichronam livracha. May the memories of all our dear ones be a blessing. If you're saying Kaddish in someone's memory tonight, we ask you to rise now. In loving support of the mourners, we rise as a congregation. In gratitude to God for the gift of the lives of their loved ones, those who are in mourning and those remembering someone, say Kaddish on page 52. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, ba'alma divrah hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei kudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, d'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all of the bereaved. And we say, Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. when we have a special event like we do tonight, we tend to sort of finish the main part of the service first. So, Mike, are you up for announcements tonight? So, all right.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Congratulations to seniors tonight. And wish you the best in your future. Okay. Tomorrow, Torah study tomorrow with Rabbi Carr at 9 a.m. in person with bagels and coffee or remote. Reminder, Havdalah service tomorrow will be at 6 p.m. on Zoom. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock is TCS Comedy Night at the Thorny Lee Golf Club in Brockton. Tickets are still available for Comedy Night and the $5,000 cash raffle. Go to winthispit.org for tickets. Mitzvah Day is this Sunday starting at 11:30. Complete information and sign-up link to volunteers at the residence at Five Corners or Mansfield Food Pantry was emailed to you. Join us next Friday night for Rocking Shabbat Eve at 6:30 p.m. Remember, information links to all activities are included in your weekly emails on Monday, as well as special notice. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thanks, Mike. That $5,000 raffle could help with college tuition.
Not that much, though, really.
For a course, maybe a day and a course,
Yes.
something.
Half a course.
It's only funny because it's true. All right, well, as it turns out, this is a very appropriate week for senior send-off because of where we are in the Torah reading. This week, the Torah portion is called Emor, and at this time, the Israelites are still camped at Mount Sinai. They've heard God reveal the Ten Commandments to them, but they haven't traveled anywhere yet. This portion includes commandments about the festival calendar, the holidays that the Israelites are going to observe throughout the year. It begins, of course, with the most important one, Shabbat, and then continues with Passover and the harvest festival of Shavuot, followed by Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot. The descriptions and the commandments of these festivals, particularly the harvest festivals, Shavuot and Sukkot, both refer to the Israelites harvesting their land. But that won't actually happen until the Israelites will be living in the land of Israel, which will not be for some 40 years, after they've journeyed for those 40 years through the wilderness, having adventures and misadventures. But for now, as I mentioned, they're still at Mount Sinai. That long journey is still ahead of them. On that journey, sometimes it will seem like they are following a definite path, and other times it will seem like they are wandering aimlessly in search of a destination and a purpose. Ultimately, however, they will reach the promised land. And of course, just last week we celebrated a newer holiday connected to that land, Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel's Independence Day. You probably see where I'm going with this, but at this moment, our high school seniors are still at the mountain, camped safely at home, hearing their families and friends give them guidance for the next parts of their journeys. When they graduate from high school and we send them off into the world of work or college, it can feel like they too are entering a wilderness. There will be adventures and misadventures. Sometimes it may feel like there is a definite path, and other times it may feel like they are wandering aimlessly. But at some point, we pray, they will reach their promised land, finding happiness and satisfaction and purpose in their lives. As parents, we hope that our children will take with them on their journey the lessons that we have tried to teach them to this point, which will help to guide them on their way. We want them to remember our essential messages of morality and ethics, of how to treat other people, of our family values. And the same is true of the Chaye Shalom family. We want you to remember the values and the vision that we have tried to transmit to you here, as well as the feeling that wherever your journey may take you, this place and these people are always part of your home. And to help symbolize that, we also want to send you off with a more concrete gift. A keychain, because you always have the key to this place, but also because it comes with a story, which is from a Hasidic rabbi from the early 19th century. Rabbi Simcha Bunim used to say that each person should have 2 pockets, and each pocket should have a different slip of paper in it. In one pocket, there should be a slip that says, "For my sake, the world was created." In the other pocket, there should be a slip of paper that says, "I am only dust and ashes." And then the person could reach into either pocket at any time and pull out whatever message is meaningful for that moment. This story speaks to us of the need for balance, which can be hard to achieve at any point in life, but perhaps especially in college and adulthood. Some settings stress us out, weighing us down, leaving us feeling discouraged, deflated, devalued. And then it is important to remember the world was created for my sake. Some occasions pump us up, shifting our focus to ourselves alone, inspiring arrogance, selfishness, greed. And then it is important to remember, I'm only dust and ashes. Jewish tradition teaches that the best way to journey through the wilderness of life, to navigate the trials and triumphs that await us, is to find a middle path, balancing these 2 impulses. So we hope that when you reach into your pocket, you will find on this keychain, which is inscribed on both sides, each side with one of those messages. For my sake, the world was created. I am but dust and ashes. We hope you will find whatever message you need at that time for wherever you are on your path. As the Israelites travel on their journey, God hopes that they take with them the message that if they hold on to what God wants of them, if they hold on to the mitzvot, if they hold on to Judaism, they will be blessed. As our seniors prepare for the next stage in your journey, we hope that you too will hold on to what your families, your temple, your Jewish tradition has tried to teach you. And then you too will be blessed, and you will be a blessing. So in that spirit, inside our pamphlets, David's going to sing Lichi Lach, written by Debbie Friedman, which evokes God's promise to Abraham and Sarah when they set out on their covenantal journey, that they would be blessed and they would be a blessing.
Lechi lach, to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Lechi lach, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall לשמחת חיים, לשמחת חיים, לכי לך. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach.
One of the great joys of this moment, of course, speaking for me, is having had the privilege of watching these amazing young men and women turn into the people that they are over the 7 years that I have been here, from before bar mitzvah, through that ceremony, through confirmation, teenagerhood, young adulthood, and now to this moment, being such a great class, watching you interact with each other and enjoy each other, and now being about to go your own ways, most of you. And I hope that you will maintain the connections that you have with each other, even as you go off on your own journeys. And so, when I say that this key is this keychain is to this place, it's also to the relationships that you have built to this time. So, inside the pamphlets, there are little blurbs and descriptions that most of our seniors wrote about where they are headed from here, and what they will take with them from this place. And so you can read them as you like. They're worth reading and learning from. But I'm going to present you your keychains to send you on your way. So Jackson, heading to UMass Amherst. Benson, should I say you're headed to Marist or to Florence, or, yeah, both. Marist in Florence. Jillian, headed to the University of South Carolina. Jesse, we are headed to Penn State. Maya, going to Roger Williams. Sammy, to Binghamton. Gabe, to UMass Amherst. Maddie, Northwestern. Mazel tov to all of you. Let's sing Shechianu to celebrate this joyous time together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu b'zman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
One way that TCS demonstrates its support of our seniors is through our sisterhood and our brotherhood, who offer scholarships, prizes to some of our seniors. So, Jen, I think you are first to present for sisterhood, right? Is that right?
Unfortunately, you don't really have to put it up. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So Sisterhood had an incredibly impressive pool of candidates this year who applied for the TCS Sisterhood Tikkun Olam Service Award for community service and social action. It was a very hard decision for the scholarship committee, and the congregation should be so proud of this group of esteemed young adults. But there was one candidate that did stand out among the rest, and this year the award is presented to Gabe Silverman. Gabe has been an extremely active member of TCS's Torch Committee, spending 60-plus hours over the last 4 years working with the committee on its many Tikkun Olam projects. Gabe believes strongly in social justice and community engagement, both which are pillars of this committee's work. Gabe also donates his time every month to the temple, helping to set up our function spaces for all the various events that we have going on. Gabe is excited to be attending UMass in the fall and continuing his Tikkun Olam efforts through an organization called Challah for Hunger, a national organization that makes challah for the homeless and others in need. Mazel tov, Gabe. We are very happy to present you with this scholarship, and we wish you all the best of luck in your future endeavors. Congratulations.
I just want to say thank you for the award. I feel very blessed to have it. I want to thank all my Hebrew school teachers, the rabbi, and everyone. Thank you so much. And my parents, too. Always thank you.
It's good to remember them. Yeah. Scott Weber, well, there you are, presenting on behalf of Brotherhood.
So, Shabbat Shalom. I have a question, and I'm really not looking for an answer right now, but I want to pose a question to the congregation. What does it mean to be a good Jew? Is it coming here tonight to Shabbat services? Is it honoring the Shabbat? Is it keeping kosher? Is it fasting? Is it believing in God? And I just want everybody to kind of keep that, because we're going to come full circle in a minute, okay? So let me explain a little bit about our scholarship here. The Saul Crummins Service Award is presented annually by the Brotherhood to an outstanding graduating high school senior. And we really have 3 criteria that we look for. Somebody that has been confirmed at TCS, they're continuing their education after high school by taking classes at a college or trade school, and they've performed volunteer service for both TCS and the community at large. So we had 4 applicants this year, and in the Brotherhood's infinite wisdom, we've decided to honor all 4 people. There will be 1 winner, and we're going to give 3 honorable mentions, because honestly, we could not decide. That's how amazing all 4 of you that applied are. And the ones that didn't apply, I pretty much know all of you. And you are truly an amazing class. Now, before we get there, I want to show everybody a picture that maybe you're familiar with. And if you're not familiar with this picture, okay, this is Saul Crummins. And Saul sits in the multipurpose room on the bookshelf, okay? And what we do as Jews is we remember. We remember people in our lives, remember loved ones, remember people who have touched our lives. And I want to take a couple minutes to talk about Saul, because I think it's important, okay? Saul was here at the beginning. Saul saw this temple thrive. Saul was the type of individual who you could see it in his eyes that he genuinely cared about all of the congregants. He lived a wonderful life. He passed away in his mid-90s. It was about 15 years ago. And just to give you a quick little story about Saul, which is pretty amazing, is when Saul, late 80s, early 90s, Saul's eyes went to the point where he couldn't drive anymore. And he would come to Shabbat services. He would go to bar mitzvahs. And he would just come, even if he didn't really know the family that well, just to sit here and to take it all in, okay? He would come to almost every temple event. And all of a sudden here, he's struggling because he can't drive. And his family members, his family members that were still in the area couldn't always take him. So the congregation decided to have a sign-up sheet, a Saul Crummins sign-up sheet, where people would go and pick him up and take him to the temple. And do you know how many slots were left on that sign-up sheet every week? 0, okay? And Saul gave love, and I think in return, he got that love. And the temple really, really, really bonded with Saul, and this was his second home. And he was a good man. He was a really, really good man. To bring it full circle, maybe being a good Jew is being a good person. Okay? All of you, and the rabbi mentioned the wilderness. And if I were the wilderness, I'd be worried to take on you guys, because you guys are going to go right through that wilderness and come out the other side. And I think all of you are going to do great things, and each and every one of you, to me, are good Jews. And if I were to open up a dictionary, or maybe I should say if I were to Google a good Jew, it would be nice if this guy popped up. So, anyway, we will get on with the festivities. Our first is Gabe Silverman, honorable mention. And I'm not going to go ahead and talk about everything great that Gabe's done, because Sister just did that. But there is one thing, Gabe, that you have done, and you don't even know that you did it. You touched somebody's life, and you have no idea really that you did it, and I don't even think you know the person. But you're going to know the person, because I'm going to tell you the person. The person is me. So I'm going to tell a quick story, okay? So the Silvermans are in the same neighborhood as the Webbers, and many of you know that I have 2 daughters. And when I was growing up, I was a big sports kid. Basketball, baseball, and neither of my daughters really took to sports. I would have loved to have coached them and done all that stuff, but they were dance kids, and that was okay. It was okay. I've known Gabe since he was this big, and I used to go down to the bus stop, the same bus stop as Gabe and Brett, and I would see his parents down there, right? And I don't know when it was, maybe you were 6, 7 years old, but all of a sudden, Gabe and I started throwing the football around, okay? And let me tell you something. I used to wake up in the morning, and I'd get Rachel and Lizzie ready for school to come down to the bus stop, but I was excited to go down to the bus stop because I was going to throw the football around with Gabe, honest to God, And we would talk about the Patriots, we would talk about fantasy football, and we even talked about nicknames of different players. And I one day decided that a great nickname for Gabe would have been the G-Dog, right? And I referred to Gabe as the G-Dog for years. But honestly, I thank you, because you're always going to be the kid that threw the football around with me. And I appreciate that. And if I recall correctly, your mom's got quite an arm. All right? So, congrats. Mr. Silverman, best wishes. All right. Okay, so our second honorable mention is Samantha Weintraub. Sammy Binghamton, right? Okay, that's awesome. Studying chemistry. Sammy, is it a madracha or a madrahim? It's a madracha, perfect, okay. So Sammy was a madracha helping at Salam for 2 years and participated in the cooking and kibitzing program, where she spent time with some of the local community senior citizens. Sammy comes from a musical family and has graced us with her flute playing at multiple services, and is always helping Cantor David Rothberg out with logistics to ensure that our Rock and Shabbat services come off without a hitch. Sammy has also participated in some of our Shabbat and Shira musical services, playing alongside her father and her grandfather. And, Sammy, I know that we lost your grandfather not too long ago, and I'm blessed to have been able to know him. I got to play bongos with him. I got to have many conversations with him, and he told me how proud he was of you. And his spirit and his music is always going to live on through you. And, I think that your grandfather had a lot of the same characteristics, to be honest with you, as Saul Crummins. He was an important part of this congregation, and I feel blessed that I knew him. So he's with us. He's with us. And to finish out, Sammy started a student senate over at Oliver Ames High School, which is awesome, right? So the group met regularly with the principal to discuss challenges that students were facing and brainstorming solutions that may help. And I also want to recognize that Sammy has given her time to provide child care to a family that was in need. Congratulations, Sammy. You're going to be great. All right. Jillian Hanley. I don't know if we should congratulate Jillian or we should congratulate Beth for getting 3 Hanley girls to navigate through Temple Chai Shalom. The youngest, the last, you know what they say? Maybe they say the best is for last, right? All right? All right. So let's see what we can say wonderful about Jillian. So, business at the University of South Carolina. Jillian was a madraha helping at Salam since the 8th grade. And during the pandemic, Jillian and her dog Roscoe would jump on Zoom classes where Jillian would read stories to our young students and Roscoe would provide everyone with smiles. Jillian has volunteered at the Mansfield Animal Shelter for the last few years, where she has taken care of many cats. And in Jillian's application, you pointed out that caring for animals has taught you things that go way beyond just an emotional connection. That was very well written. Regarding school, Jillian has tutored other students. She's participated in student council. But maybe the most impressive thing that Jillian has accomplished is being the president of the Mansfield High School Best Buddies chapter. And, championing new programs and ideas to build connections between regular ed students and special needs students. That's great stuff. That's great stuff. Looking forward to the next adventure for you, Jillian. And our winner, Jesse Colchimero. Jesse's going to be attending Penn State, and you're going to be studying wildlife and fisheries science, right? Is that what they call it? Okay. So Jesse's been a madraha since 2021 and has helped younger students with Hebrew lessons, assisting with arts and crafts programs, and showing off your cooking skills. So, is he really a good cook? No. Does it? He has potential? Yeah. Macaroni and cheese? Ramen noodles? Okay. All right. Jesse has led our Children's High Holiday services over the last 2 years, and he's been the president of TEXI. And if you don't know what TEXI is, it's our Temple Youth Group. And Jesse's taken much pride in promoting the program, as the connections he's made with his fellow students, as well as having a Jewish identity as a teenager, are things that Jesse feels have really shaped him as an individual. Jesse volunteers at the Massachusetts Audubon Society, where he monitors and documents wild bird nest boxes, sending data to a national database for correlation. I found that very interesting. The volunteer work is a bit of a precursor for Jesse's upcoming adventures studying wildlife in college. And at Mansfield High School, Jesse is a member of the National Honor Society and the M Music Society. He's contributed many volunteer hours, not only at Mansfield High, but also in the community. Jesse is already planning the continuation of his religious journey, as he wants to be an active member of Hillel, and I'm sure that the Jewish community at Penn State will welcome you with open arms. And lastly, Jesse is a big fan of our Boston sports team, so I'm hoping that you already said a prayer for the Celtics tonight. So, Jesse, would you like to say a few words? Congratulations, my friend.
Yeah, basically just what Gabe said. Thank you to everyone. I don't really have much more to say. That's about it. All right, thanks.
So yes, a few words.
Well, I talked long enough, so
They're great. Thank you. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Sisterhood and Brotherhood, for your support of our students. If you'll grant me one moment to make a little pun. You once talked about how we had a winner and 3 honorable mention. In Yiddish, the word for a good person is mensch. The plural is mention. So we have several honorable mention, some of whom got the award for honorable mention. But so it was well chosen the way you said it. So you have gotten gifts of keychains, gifts of awards. There is one more set of gifts to give you, and that is the gift of blessings. So what we're going to do is, you may remember that in 2nd grade, you did a little handprint project on a chuppah. So I'm going to invite the congregation to come on up and gather around up here in the front of the sanctuary. I'm going to ask for 4 volunteers to hold the corners of the chuppah.
Tall adults.
Yeah, 4 adult volunteers. Yeah, this is the fun part, untangling it. So spread it out, and seniors come on underneath, and congregation come gather around the chuppah. see if you can find your handprint. Nope. Yeah, it's, yeah. All right. Yeah, it's a little tricky. Ooh. All right. It's a little trickier reading them upside down. Okay. No, I won't go back on. All right. There we go. Close enough. What? Yeah, that was how it was attached. So, all right. Anyway, I would like to invite anybody in the congregation who would like to offer a blessing or words of support, encouragement, guidance, cheering them on, anything that you would like to say to our seniors, to do so. Remember that balance we were talking about before? Take risks and learn from them in moderation. Steve, I saw your hand.
I'm just going to say, enjoy these next years because they're some of the best years that you will enjoy before responsibilities become.
Enjoy it. Yeah. Sure.
Actually, muzzle up for following through and making it through to confirmation. Not everybody does that. You guys are great, and you're going to be really here.
Excellent.
I would say explore and learn as many new things as you can in the new experience.
Explore and learn. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And remember, you can always come back here.
They have to come back here. that wasn't you can. That was. Yeah. I don't know.
I have taught college for many years, and you must realize that this is the stepping stone to your future life. You must make the most of it. Do not throw it away. Make the most of these years. This is what determines your successful life. Okay?
Thank you. And remember, it took the Israelites 40 years to find their promised land. So, it's all right. Yeah.
Says they approach college with curiosity and new opportunities that you haven't had before.
Yeah.
And that's the opportunity to learn to grow from our. So approach with curiosity.
Love it. Curiosity. Awesome.
I would say to seek out things you wouldn't normally seek out. You're going to find your friends and your activities easily enough, but this is an unusual opportunity to meet people who have different experiences than yourself, find them, and get to know them.
Broaden your world a little bit. Uh-huh.
Call your mom.
And maybe your dad. Well, we have one more blessing for you, and that is the blessing that comes from the Torah. God tells Moses to tell Aaron, the high priest, that when he blesses the people, there are certain special words that he should use. These are words that have come to be known as Birkat Kohanim, the priestly blessing, and they're used at many times in Jewish life. You all have heard them from me before. I said them to you when you became bar and bat mitzvah, and at confirmation. I'll say them again for you in just a moment. But traditionally, when the congregation hears these words, they respond by saying, Ken Yehi Ratzon. May it be God's will. Ken Yehi Ratzon. So the blessing actually consists of 3 different sentences, and after each one, the congregation says, Ken Yehi Ratzon. So after each sentence, I'll say in Hebrew and English. I'm going to invite you to say, Ken Yehi Ratzon. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you.
Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May the light of God's presence shine upon you. You can never say it too many times. May the light of God's presence shine upon you and within you, and may God be good to you.
Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God always show you favor and grant you a life of joy and happiness, a life of health and fulfillment and meaning, and above all, a life of peace.
Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Mazel tov. In this spirit of blessing, David is going to sing a version of Tfilat Haderech, the prayer for a journey, also written by Debbie Friedman. If you're holding on to your booklets, the words are in there on the back cover.
May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. May we be sheltered by the wings of peace. May we be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen. Amen. May this be our blessing. Amen. Amen. May this be our blessing. Amen.
As we get ready to conclude, I have, first of all, a number of people to thank. First of all, and most, well, I don't even know what the word is, to thank Denise Morgan for all of her work and effort and arrangement and time and energy and love that she gives to our students and our community. So thank you for preparing this night for us tonight. Thank you again to Sisterhood and Brotherhood for your support of our students. Thank you to all of the parents of our students for your ongoing commitment to our congregation, our community, and remaining part of this community and continuing to keep us strong. And lastly, I want to thank these 8, these candles in our menorah tonight. To stick with the light theme. It has been such a joy to know you individually and together, we all look forward to the great things that you will do and the great people you will continue to become in the years ahead. So please stay in touch. You will always be part of us. So thank you for giving us the gift of you. So we are going to wrap up with Kiddush and Motzi and then counting the Omer, and then we will go to the ice cream.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. V'shabbat kodsho v'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu bacharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen. In keeping with this journey theme, we are in the calendar in the period between Passover and Shavuot, the period that this week's Torah portion describes as the Omer, counting the journey from slavery to Revelation. And we mark that journey, which takes 50 days, according to our tradition. The 50th day we will celebrate as Shavuot, which we will celebrate as confirmation, Zoe and Lexi and your families and your classmates. That's the next big celebration for a community like that. But we count the days, and so I'm going to invite you to say with me the blessing for counting the Omer. It's the same as other blessings for a mitzvah with the words Asher Kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, and then the last words are Al Sfirat HaOmer, which means for counting the Omer, and then I will count this next day for us. But let's say together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher Kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, Al Sfirat HaOmer. Hayom shloshim yom, shehem arba'a shavuot, u'shnei yamim la'omer. Today is 30 days, which are 4 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. Shall we? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom. Mazel tov, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Go have ice cream. Or take some challah, then go have ice cream. Thank you to our chuppah holders.
Let's split it.
Thank you. Gabe, congratulations. Well deserved, of course. I did not know about the football, but I knew about the other things. You've seen it, I don't know. Yep.